So this morning for our writing lesson, we're going to be doing a writer's notebook activity, which is really exciting. I know how much you guys love your writer's notebook. The reason we're going to be using our writer's notebook today is to practice using descriptive language to engage our audience, and that's going to be our learning intention today. What do you think I mean when I say engage our audience? Isaac?
Encouraging you to keep reading.
Yeah, encourage them to keep reading. Does anyone have anything to add to that? Jasper?
Keep them
It's disappeared, has it?
Yep.
That's okay. So we've spoken about encouraging the reader to keep reading, but what about when the reader first reads something?
They need to have interest.
Yeah, right from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do we generate that interest?
Using descriptive language.
Yeah, using really strong, powerful descriptive language. So that's our learning intention today. We're looking to use descriptive language to really engage our audience. So in order to be successful today, you're going to be able to use your writer's notebook to generate examples of descriptive language. So we're going to have a little bit of a brainstorm in our writer's notebook. You'll be able to replace simple language with some wow words. What do I mean when I say simple language? Jasper?
Like big, sad, small.
Yeah, big, sad, small, really good examples.
Happy.
They're still adjectives, it's still descriptive language, but it's pretty simple, isn't it? If we were in grade 1, grade 2, we might be happy using those words to describe things in our writing, but we like to use wow words. When we're at the stage that we're at in our writing, we like to use more complex descriptive language. So when I say wow words, what do I mean? Isaac?
Like replacing words with random words and maybe big, colossal, and making them more interesting.
Yeah, so more interesting descriptive language. So, and how do we find those wow words?
Look around the room.
Yeah, we can look around the room. We can use our anchor chart up on the wall. Lots of good ideas that you guys have generated. When we talk about wow words, they're words that have the same meaning. And what do we call those?
Synonyms.
Yeah, synonyms. Excellent. So that's a good way to generate more descriptive language and a good way to replace simple language by using synonyms that are a little bit more interesting. Jump off the page and grab your interest. Now, last month, we're going to draft a short descriptive letter from the perspective of an object. So rather than writing from the perspective of yourself or another human being, we're going to do something completely different. We're going to pretend that we're an object. So it could be a chair, it could be a whiteboard, it could be a texter. And it's a good practice to be able to write from different perspectives. And we're going to have a little bit of a practice of that today after we read our mentor text. So the mentor text that I've chosen to support our lesson today is the David Crayons book. Why do you think I might have chosen that mentor text? Is?
Because it's a thing.
Because the crayons are objects, aren't they? Excellent. Really, really good. Hands up if you've read the text before.
I've read a little bit.
You've read a little bit of it? So, Isaac, can you tell us a little bit about what the crayons are feeling during the text?
They feel very annoyed and sad.
Yeah, and why do they feel annoyed and sad?
Because they get thrown around.
Yeah, some get thrown around. Are the crayons just feeling sad and annoyed? Are they all negative emotions, or are some of the crayons happy?
Pretty much they're all negative emotions.
Pretty much they're all negative?
None of them are happy.
Okay. And can you remember the type of language that the author uses in the text? Do you think it's strong language that grabs your attention? Yeah, excellent. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to read a couple of pages today. We're not going to read the whole thing. We're just going to read a few pages. And that's going to give us, hopefully, a little bit of a scaffold to help us to come up with our short descriptive letter. Hopefully generate some ideas in our writer's notebook. You ready to go?
Yes.
Excellent. The David Crayons Quiz by Drew Taylott. One day in class, Duncan went to take out his crayons and found a stack of letters with his name on them. to Duncan. Hey Duncan, it's me, Red Crayon. We need to talk. You make me work harder than any of your other crayons. All year long, I wear myself out colouring fire engines, apples, strawberries, and everything else that's red. I even work on holidays. I have to colour all the Santas at Christmas and all the hearts on Valentine's Day. I need a rest. Your overworked friend, Red Crayon. How's the Red Crayon feeling?
Not happy.
Not happy?
Exhausted.
Exhausted. Great. Great example of a wow word that we can use to replace something like tired. Good job on that. Dear Duncan, all right, listen. I love that I'm your favourite crayon for grapes, dragons, and wizards' hats. But it makes me crazy that so much of my gorgeous colour goes outside the lines. If you don't start colouring inside the lines soon, I'm going to completely lose it. Your very neat friend, Purple Crayon. Some of them are really tricky to see. Dear Duncan, I'm tired of being called light brown or dark tan because I am neither. I am beige and I am proud. I'm also tired of being second place to Mr. Brown Crayon. It's not fair that Brown gets all the bears, ponies and puppies, while the only things I get are turkey dinners if I'm lucky, and wheat. And let's be honest, when was the last time you saw a kid excited about colouring wheat? Your beige friend, Beige Crayon. I reckon you get excited about colouring wheat, guys.
Yeah, I'd see.
Duncan, Grey Crayon here. You're killing me. I know you love elephants, and I know that elephants are great, but that's a lot of space to colour in all by myself. And don't even get me started on your rhinos, hippos, and humpback whales. You know how tired I am after handling one of those things. Such big animals. Baby penguins are great, you know. So are very tiny rocks. Pebbles. How about one of those once in a while to give me a break? Your very tired friend, Grey Crayon. Now I'm going to stop on this page, and I want you guys to critique the author's use of descriptive language on this page. Can you guys see any simple language on this page that you might be able to replace with a wow word? Jasper?
Big.
Yeah, so big's pretty simple. What might you be able to replace it?
Gigantic.
Gigantic is a good one. Does anyone else have another synonym, another wow word that they think they can replace the word big with? Isaac?
Colossal.
Colossal. Great example. Is?
Massive.
Massive. Great job. Noah?
Huge.
Huge. Fantastic. This is really good. Can you see any other examples of simple language that we might be able to replace with a wow word? Noah?
Tired.
Tired.
Exhausted.
Exhausted. Fantastic.
Burnt out.
Burnt out. Really good. Does anyone have any other examples?
Can't be bothered.
Can't be bothered. Excellent. Good job. Alright, we might do one more and then I'll explain the writer's notebook task in a little bit more detail. Oh, forgot about that. This is an interesting one. Dear Duncan, you colour with me, but why? Most of the time, I'm the same colour as the page you were using me on, white. If I didn't have a black outline, you wouldn't even know I was there. I'm not even in the rainbow. I'm only used to colour snow or to fill in empty space between other things, and it leaves me feeling, well, empty. We need to talk. Your empty friend, White Crayon. What about this page?
He's feeling sad that he doesn't get used.
Yeah, how do you know that he's feeling sad?
Because of his emotions.
Yeah, and what word did they use to describe his emotions? No? Empty. Do you think that's strong language?
Yeah.
Oh, I do. It's a
And
really simple word, but when you're talking about actually the feeling of emptiness, it's pretty powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. I like that page. So, this is what I'm going to get you guys to do now. Our mentor text was written from the perspective of a crane. So now what I need you guys to do is to go away and have a think to yourselves about how different objects that you might use on a day-to-day basis might be feeling about their existence and why. Now, up on the board, I've got the start of the worked example. This is my writer's note. And this is how I'd like you to set it out. So anywhere on your page, your heading is going to be, if I were, I would feel. And that's going to be the structure of your writing today. So the couple of examples that I've got there. If I were a footy, I'd feel miserable. Everyone just boots me around. So you think about a football, it's a winter sport, isn't it? So people are just kicking you around. It's cold, it's wet,
it's muddy.
it's muddy, and you just get kicked and handballed and kicked and handballed. You might end up on the roof, you might end up in a paddock, you might end up in a tree.
Might end up in a puddle.
You might end up in a puddle. And what happens when kids are finished playing footies?
They leave them outside.
They leave them outside. So you might be left outside overnight in the rain. You might be feeling miserable. Can anyone think of another wow word that we could use maybe in the place of miserable? No? Gloomy. Great example. So what would be the simple language that we would use there? Sad. So let's start from sad. What's another wow word that we can use to replace sad?
Miserable.
We've got miserable, we've got
Unhappy.
gloomy, unhappy, depressed. Where might we be able to find in the room some examples of wow words for sad? Hey, we've got our anchor chart that we can use. Fantastic. Another example that I've used is if I were a jar of Vegemite, and this is a pet peeve of mine. Jar of Vegemite, someone spreads the butter first and then they dig into the Vegemite jar and they leave butter through there.
You don't even have to dig, you just scrape it.
It's a little bit gross, isn't it? So if I were a jar of Vegemite, I'd feel disgusted. Everyone uses their dirty butter knife to spread. That's vile. I hate it. When I go into the Vegemite jar, I just want to get Vegemite. If I was that jar and I was being cross-contaminated with butter, I'd feel disgusting. What's another wow word that I can use in place of disgusting?
Gross.
Gross.
Vile.
Vile. Terrific.
Putrid.
Putrid. No, you are on fire today, mate. Fantastic. My third one is a positive one. If I was a book, I'd feel wonderful. I bring people so much joy. Hands up if you love reading books. I feel like everyone's hands should go. So you imagine being a book. People pick you up, they're so engaged, they're so enthralled, and they pay so much attention to you. You create so many different emotions in people. It's a wonderful feeling. So that's a nice positive one. Does anyone want to have a go at coming up with their own, if I were, I would feel, for our work example? Isaac?
If I were a TV, I'd feel horrid. People just sit there staring at me all day.
Oh, I like that. If I were a TV, I'd feel horrid. Great word. People just sit and stare at me all day. So if you're that TV, Isaac, what would you want those people to be doing?
Take more interest instead of just sitting there.
Take
I'd
more
rather
interest.
play some games on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, plug in a gaming console and play some games. Do you think the TV might want those people to get outside and get some physical activity? Yeah, interesting. So that could be the angle that you attack your short letter from. So your TV is feeling really horrid that people are just sitting on the couch doing nothing, and you want to encourage them to get up and get active and do something different. That's a really good example. All right. Hands up if you're feeling confident about going away and attacking this task in your writer's notebook. So, hands up if you feel like you need a little bit of extra support. Excellent. All right. So this is what we'll do. We'll grab our writer's notebooks and we'll sit down at our tables, and I'll get you guys just to have a little bit of a think about some objects that you would like to write from the perspective. Jasper,
Do we write it down in colour?
it's your writer's notebook. What do we like to see in our writer's notebook?
Colour.
Lots of colour.
Yeah.
No. Is water an object? Absolutely. What are you thinking? You're thinking about being a swimming pool
You always get peed in.
or a bath.
Just water.
Interesting.
Baby kids.
Oh, now, does anyone have any questions about how we're going to assess this?
Teacher's feedback, exit tickets and peer assessment.
Do you guys think that a peer assessment would be good for this task?
Yeah.
You like to assess each other's work?
Yeah.
We can definitely make that happen. All right.